years have elapsed since the horrific terrorist attacks that shook not just Mumbai, but the entire world. Also known as 26/11, on this day, 10 terrorists from the Lashkar-e-Taiba terror group entered the city and killed 166 people and injured 300 during the course of 4 days. 15 years on, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi led the country in paying tributes to the victims of the attacks.
15 years ago, India's financial capital Mumbai witnessed the most horrific terror attacks of recent times. Since then, every year India observes the 26th of November as the day to remember all the innocent lives lost and their martyrs. On Sunday, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid homage to the people who lost their lives in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks in his monthly radio program Man Ki Baat.
मुंबई हमले में अपना जीवन गंवाने वाले सभी लोगों को मैं श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं। इस हमले में हमारे जो जांबाज वीरगति को प्राप्त हुए, देश आज उन्हें याद कर रहा है।
India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar posted on X, and I quote, "It is 15 years today since the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. Our quest to bring those responsible for planning and executing these horrific acts to justice continues." In a show of solidarity with India, US Ambassador to India Eric Garcetti also paid tribute to martyrs of 26/11 terror attack. The dastardly terror attack perpetrated by the Pakistani terror outfit Lashkar-e-Taiba claimed the lives of 166 people and left over 300 injured after 10 terrorists launched simultaneous attack in various parts of Mumbai. Even after 15 long years, justice for the victims and their families remains unserved. Pakistan, the country from where the terrorists originated, still keeps all the perpetrators of the attack in VVIP custody of the country's deep state. From Lashkar-e-Taiba's chief Hafiz Saeed to 26/11 operational commander Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, they all remain free in Pakistan. Recently, the country arrested the main handler of the attack, Sajid Mir, after being pressurized by the international terror financing watchdog FATF. But despite facing hurdles in the United Nations, India's Modi-led government remains resilient in its fight against terrorism. The country has taken up the issue relentlessly in the United Nations Security Council to bring the perpetrators to justice. With Faiz Khan, Mihir Makuri reporting for DD India.
On day 15 of the operation to rescue 41 workers trapped in a tunnel in the Indian state of Uttarakhand, rescuers have started work on a 6-pronged strategy, even as drone cameras are monitoring the rescue operations. Here's more.
Continuing their unwavering commitment to saving lives, the government is actively engaged in ongoing rescue operations at the Silkiara tunnel in Uttarkashi, where 41 workers remain trapped. The 2-kilometer stretch of the tunnel with completed concrete work ensuring the safety of the workers is the focus of the rescue efforts. Various government agencies are working tirelessly on each assigned specific tasks to ensure the safe evacuation of the workers. National and international experts are present at the site to advise on the rescue operation. The government maintains constant communication to boost the morale of those trapped.
ऑपरेशंस जो है जहां पर चल रहे थे सबसे ज़्यादा, वहां रुके नहीं गए हैं, वहां पर भी ऑपरेशंस अभी भी जारी हैं। रिपेयर के मुख्तलिफ चीज़ों को लाकर उनको बाहर निकालने के लिए वो सब काम अभी भी चल रहा है। All efforts are going on. All of government approach which was spoken about earlier is being adopted practically on ground.
While different options are being explored by bringing the expertise from other organizations to rescue the trapped workers inside the tunnel.
हमने ये प्लान रखा हुआ है कि ऑप्शन 2, 3, 4 सब हम रखें। साइमल्टेनियसली हमारी जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं देश में जिनके पास ये एक्सपर्टीज़ है, जिनकी जिस फील्ड में एक्सपर्टीज़ है, उनको हमने यहाँ बुलाया, वो हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं। प्लानिंग वगैरह सब किया हमने। उसके बाद जो भी उसके लिए उस प्लान को कामयाब बनाने के लिए जो भी इक्विपमेंट, मशीनरी या रिसोर्सेज, एक्सपर्ट्स जो चाहिए वो सब हमने मंगाया। ये सब होकर अब हम इस स्थिति पे पहुंच गए कि कल से हमने 2-3 ऑप्शंस और पे काम शुरू कर लिया है। पहला उसमें तो ये आ गया कि SJVNL जो काम कर रहा है, SJVNL को हमने ये बोला है कि 1.2 मीटर डायमीटर, 1 मीटर से 1.2 मीटर डायमीटर का आप वर्टिकल ड्रिलिंग हमें करके दीजिए।
Authorities have also informed that all the 41 workers have been contacted and they are doing completely fine. All medicines, food and warm clothes are being provided to them. But however, authorities are trying their best efforts, in fact putting in their best efforts to ensure that this rescue operation is completed as soon as possible if no hurdle comes in from here on. This is Dibyendu Model with camera person Gaurav Giri reporting from Uttarkashi for DD India.
International news now. Russia said on Sunday that it had thwarted a major Ukrainian drone attack with at least 20 drones shot down over Russian regions, including Moscow. Russia's defense ministry said Ukrainian drones were shot down over regions including Moscow, Tula, Kaluga and Bryansk. One person was injured in Tula when an intercepted drone hit an apartment building. The Kommersant newspaper said that flights were delayed or cancelled at Moscow's main airports due to the drone attack. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military destroyed 8 of the 9 attack drones launched overnight by Russia, the Air Force said on Sunday. There were no immediate reports of damage or about where the remaining drones had struck. Also, the attack, which the Air Force said was launched from the southeast, came a day after what Ukrainian officials said had been Russia's largest drone attack of the war yet. Ukraine has warned in recent weeks that Russia will target critical infrastructure in a winter aerial campaign, as it did last year. Anti-war protesters hit the streets of German capital, urging the government to stop delivering weapons to Ukraine and reduce military expenditure. The longer than expected recession in Germany is growing the burden on people's livelihoods, which is brought by the country's continuous military aid for Ukraine. The rally garnered extensive support from various sectors in Germany, denounced NATO's role in fueling conflicts and urged the German government to promote peace talks between Russia and Ukraine.
Actually, a war of attrition in Ukraine. There is no moving forward from no side. So I think the most important is to have a ceasefire and negotiations, to have a peace solution in Ukraine. We have to stop the weapon deliveries, the military aid to Ukraine, because this is not a part of a solution. This is a part of an escalation, and we have to stop this escalation.
NASA Administrator Bill Nelson is set to travel to India and the UAE beginning Monday for a series of meetings with key government officials. Nelson will also meet with space officials in both countries to deepen bilateral cooperation across a broad range of innovation and research-related areas, especially in human exploration and earth science. Nelson's visit to India will fulfill a commitment as part of the US and India Initiative on Critical and Emerging Technologies, or ICET, that was initiated by President Joe Biden. In the India leg, Nelson will visit several locations, including the Bengaluru-based facilities where the Nisar spacecraft, which is a joint Earth-observing mission between NASA and its Indian counterpart ISRO, is undergoing testing and integration for launch in 2024. The foreign ministers of China, Japan and South Korea met in the port city of Busan on Sunday, seeking to restart cooperation among the Asian neighbors and pave the way for a summit of the three leaders. China's top diplomat Wang Yi said the three countries should play an active role in promoting regional and global development in a more progressive manner. Japan's Yoko Kamikawa said greater trilateral cooperation will contribute to regional peace as the international security situation has become more severe and complex than ever. The three top diplomats met in Busan for their first such meeting since 2019, after officials of the three countries had agreed in September to arrange a trilateral summit at the earliest convenient time. The officials would work to ensure the summit of the leaders of the three nations was held as soon as possible. Sierra Sierra Leone has declared a nationwide curfew after unidentified gunmen attacked a military barrack and attempted to break into an armory in the capital, Freetown. West Africa's regional bloc condemned the attempt by certain individuals to acquire arms and disturb constitutional order. The political situation in the West African nation has remained tense since the re-election of President Julius Maada Bio in a disputed election in June. Campaigning for his election, Congo opposition candidate Denis Mukwege vowed to work towards a well-structured and modernized military if elected. A 2018 Nobel Peace Prize laureate Mukwege attended his first election rally in Buaku since officially announcing his candidacy back in October. He is pitted, in fact, against President Felix Tshisekedi, whose first term was mired by economic hardships, epidemics and worsening insecurity in the east, as well as Martin Fayulu and Mozi Katumbi in the presidential elections scheduled on the 23rd of December. A major goal of the COP28 summit in Dubai will be reaching a new agreement to address the world's suffocating plastic problem. Reports predict the volume of plastic entering the world's oceans could triple in the next 15 years if immediate corrective action is not taken. One major polluter is Japan, a country which is second only to the US in the amount of per capita plastic waste it generates. Experts warn that the country's worsening plastic addiction is already unsustainable. Chris Gilbert reports from Tokyo.
The environmental cost of convenience. Millions of plastic bottles, buckets, tires and toys washed up on the banks of East Tokyo's Arakawa River. It's an indictment and illustration of Japan's plastic problem. Volunteers come here every week to clear the grass, collect the trash and carry it off. The group has collected 16,000 bags of plastic in 6 years. And it's not finished yet.
We're cleaning much faster than it's accumulating, for sure. You know, and people all over Japan, there are thousands of beach cleanups all over Japan. We can't even get it all done. You know, we just keep hitting it every week. We just keep chopping at it. You know, so we'd like to have more people joining.
While these volunteers are making headway, the country is barely making progress with kicking its dependency on plastic. Japan produces more than 21 billion plastic bottles annually, a 65% increase over the last 2 decades. And while it's a world leader for waste collection, with recycling services reaching more than 90% of households, experts are concerned about how that waste is recycled. Every year, more than 2.5 billion plastic bottles are incinerated and pumped into the atmosphere, where the microscopic debris stays until it's inhaled or settles on the land or ocean. Professor Hiroshi Okochi's research team has found microplastics in the clouds 1,000 feet above Mount Fuji.
Today, the weather seems fine, but there are definitely microplastics flying around in the air. Humans know about the plastic waste in the ocean. They know about the harm to animals because they can see it. But there are plastics all around us right now. They're just invisible.
He says the concentration of airborne plastic may be especially high in megacities like Tokyo.
Japan's work-focused culture has fed its waste consumption. Busy people on the go can get a nutritious lunch and a coffee for less than $5. But there are long-term costs for this convenience, the waste that remains, and the taxpayer-funded recycling system.
But even recycling is not a foolproof method of disposing of plastic waste.
Ultimately, plastic wastes are prone to stay. It's hard to completely clear them, even if they're recycled. Our waste will stay with future generations. They will inherit it in all forms. It will impact their intestines and reproductive system. They will pay for our waste.
He says the cost responsibility must be shifted from taxpayers to producers to lift the price of plastic and deter its use if Japan is to help lead the world towards a more sustainable future. Chris Gilbert in Tokyo, reporting for DD India.
Time for us to take a breather. Still to come on DD India News Hour. Hamas announces the release of a Russian national held hostage, even as more Israeli hostages are expected to be released on day 3 of the 4-day truce between Israel and Hamas. China's health ministry asks local authorities to increase the number of fever clinics as the country grapples with a surge in acute respiratory illnesses. India is celebrating Constitution Day today to mark the adoption of the Indian Constitution by the Constituent Assembly in 1949.
We just don't bring you the news as it unfolds. We get to the heart of the matter.
We don't just present facts. We demystify complex social, political, and economic events.
We break stories that shape the world's present and future because you deserve the truth.
I am Tanvi Taneja from New Delhi.
I'm Ollie Barrett from London.
I'm Nick Harper from Washington, D.C.
Join us on DD India Global Monday to Friday at these times.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour with me, Munman Bhattacharya. The third set of hostages are due to be released by Hamas on Sunday, with an American citizen expected to be on the list, according to an Israeli official. Meanwhile, Hamas confirmed the deaths of several senior commanders who were targeted by Israel during the fighting in the Gaza Strip.
Hamas on Sunday confirmed the deaths of several senior commanders who were targeted by Israel during the fighting in the Gaza Strip. Earlier, Israeli Defense Forces said it had targeted Hamas commanders but did not confirm the elimination. Meanwhile, Israel has received the third list of hostages to be released as fragile truce holds. The third set of hostages is due to be released by Hamas on Sunday, with an American citizen expected to be on the list. US President Joe Biden, on being asked about the release of the hostages by Hamas, said he is hopeful to see something soon.
Mr. President, when will the hostages be released?
I'm hopeful you'll see something soon.
Hamas on late Saturday released 13 Israelis and 4 Thai nationals after delay. Hostages, after being released, arrived at the Sheba Medical Center for medical checkup.
We meet here today after a very long and emotional night for us, where we as an organization had the amazing privilege of being able to treat our brothers and sisters, our children that have been kept captive by the Hamas.
Israeli Defense Forces said that 200 trucks with humanitarian aid were sent to international aid organizations operating in Gaza through the Rafah crossing. The aid was sent as part of the operational pause and within the framework for the release of the hostages agreed.
And Mia Alberti joins us from Beirut in Lebanon. Mia, Hamas, we know, has announced the release of a hostage holding Russian citizenship. What more can you tell us about that and the expected release of more hostages?
Yeah, just in the last hour, Hamas announced that it is releasing one Russian hostage, but now we just got the information. Egyptian media is reporting that Hamas has given the remainder of the Israeli hostages scheduled to be released today, that Hamas has transferred 13 Israeli hostages to the Red Cross in Gaza. And so we might be seeing these hostages leaving the Gaza Strip through the Rafah crossing quite soon. But again, on Saturday, we also saw this kind of reports, and then we saw a huge delay. So we have to be careful with the information we get. But as of now, we have Egyptian media reporting that the release scheduled for Sunday is already taking place. Now, this is a long process. It's not something that it's quick. These hostages will have to go through the Rafah crossing, which will take a while. So we'll have to monitor that. And on the Palestinian side, we are also expecting 39 Palestinian teenagers and children to be released from prison on Sunday. That hasn't happened yet. We have seen some movement in the Ofer prison there in the West Bank with some buses arriving, but we haven't seen those prisoners yet. But it seems like things might be happening a bit quicker than they happened on Saturday.
Right, so you're telling us that the third day of release of Israeli hostages is also on. It is, we know, day 3 of the 4-day truce today, but there is also a window, we know, that is available for the extension of this truce. So do you see this truce holding even after 4 days, with more exchanges taking place in the days to come?
I mean, before I can even answer that question, we have to say that this humanitarian pause is not holding. We are seeing Israeli forces attacking Palestinians in Gaza. Many Gazans that are trying to go back to the northern part of the Strip, although Israel has warned them through leaflets not to, return to the north. Many people have to or want to return home, see if their homes are intact, see if their loved ones who they cannot reach to because of the lack of internet. They want to see if their loved ones are alive. They want to take care of their pets. They want to get clothes. They want to get medicine, food, etc. So lots of people are trying to go back to the north, and we are seeing Israeli forces, soldiers, ground troops shooting at them. On Friday, 2 people were killed, and on Sunday we have another report from the Palestinians that 1 farmer was killed in Gaza and 7 other people were injured in these shooting attacks in at least 2 incidents in Gaza. So these are the type of things that could make it harder for this truce to be extended, or for a ceasefire, total ceasefire, to be achieved. Now, we have heard on Sunday from the Qataris who have been mediating these negotiation efforts, saying that they are working through all of the available channels to try and extend this truce. So there seems to be a will from both sides and from the mediators to extend this truce. But again, as we saw on Saturday, with the delay in release of hostages, with Hamas accusing Israel of not following through with the rules agreed through this hostage deal and this humanitarian pause deal, we could see any type of these incidents in which we see Israel breaking the rules of this humanitarian pause, that could hinder any efforts to extend the truce or achieve a long-term ceasefire.
Right, Mia Alberti reporting that the third lot of Israeli hostages are being released now. We leave it at that. Mia reporting from Beirut. India is celebrating its Constitution Day today to mark the adoption of the Indian Constitution by the Constituent Assembly in 1949. Constitutional Day is also known as Samvidhan Divas in India.
74 years ago, India's Constituent Assembly convened on November 26, 1949, to breathe life into the Constitution. The framers crafted a forward-looking, resilient document that reflects the nation's ideals and safeguards the future of every Indian. It is hailed as the foundation of the world's largest democracy, guiding its course and serving as a source of democratic governance and inspiration. On Constitution Day last year, Prime Minister highlighted global attention on India's progress and its strengthening international image rooted in the Constitution. He emphasized that "we the people" is not just a phrase but a call, a pledge and a belief that has made India the mother of democracy. The Constitution integrates the best from foreign constitutions while preserving India's ancient heritage and freedom struggle.
हमारे संविधान के प्रेम्बल की शुरुआत में जो वी द पीपल लिखा है, ये सिर्फ 3 शब्द नहीं है, वी द पीपल एक आह्वान है, एक प्रतिज्ञा है, एक विश्वास है। संविधान में लिखी ये भावना उस भारत की मूल भावना है जो दुनिया में लोकतंत्र की जननी रहा है, मदर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी रहा है।
Under Dr. Rajendra Prasad's leadership and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar's stewardship, the Constitution achieved a remarkable balance, pulsating with democratic spirit and adaptable to future needs. It endows every Indian with a duty to respect its ideals and institutions and embrace the legacy of the freedom struggle.
संसद में अभी हाल ही में जो
The recent enactment of the Women's Reservation Bill in our Parliament is a great example of elevating the role of our women. In addition to this, the setup of the Commission for the Amendment of other backward classes has also been provided for in the Constitution.
उसकी व्यवस्था संविधान में की गई है।
The Constitution also advocates for gender equality, reflecting in provisions like the recent bill endorsing 33% parliamentary and state assembly reservations for women. It provides legal channels to address societal issues and aims to establish India as a democratic exemplar through constitutional amendments.
The 18th India-Iran Foreign Office consultations were held in Iran's capital city, Tehran, on Sunday. India's Foreign Secretary Vinay Quatra and Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister for Political Affairs co-chaired the meeting. The two sides reviewed the bilateral relationship, including connectivity projects such as the Chabahar port. Besides political engagements, trade and economic matters, they also exchanged views on recent regional and global issues and latest developments in Afghanistan and Gaza. During his visit, India's Foreign Secretary also met the Foreign Minister of Iran, Dr. Hossein Amir Abdullahian, on Sunday. They discussed bilateral matters and the current challenges in the region. And Secretary Quatra also met Iran's Deputy Foreign Minister for Economic Diplomacy and discussed ways to strengthen bilateral trade and economic ties with him. Let's now take a look at other stories making news. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra is going on across India. This is being done to raise awareness and facilitate the delivery of welfare scheme benefits spanning across the domains of sanitation, financial services, electricity, housing and more. The van of Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra reached a village, Hapur district in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. The officials made the villagers aware about the schemes run by the union government and appealed to the villagers to take maximum benefit from the schemes. The Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra also reached a village in Amethi district of the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, where the villagers were briefed about government schemes and they were urged to avail the benefits of the schemes. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra also reached the village of Shili Rajgiri in the northern Indian state of Himachal Pradesh, where the authorities briefed about the various government schemes run by the government to the people for the welfare of Indian citizens. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra vans were flagged off from the remote area in the state of Andhra Pradesh, where the government officials informed villagers about various schemes and programs run for the welfare of citizens. Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra camp also reached Ladakh in India, where officials spread awareness among locals on the procedures to avail the welfare schemes of the Indian government. Locals expressed gratitude to the Indian government for their enthusiastic involvement in briefing them on various government schemes. Today is National Milk Day. It marks the birth anniversary of the father of the White Revolution of India, Dr. Viksit Bharat, known for his key contributions to India's largest self-sustaining industry and the largest rural employment sector, dairy farming. In the Indian state of Assam, several Indian ministers paid tributes to Dr. Viksit Bharat by launching a special training program for the dairy farmers in a state-run veterinary college.
It is a matter of great honor for our state that we have been given this opportunity by the government of India, and this kind of celebration is a very positive step in that direction. I would like to also mention very briefly here is that state government has entered into a MOU with the National Dairy Development Board, and we will be setting up 5 plants.
Time for us to take another breather. Still to come on DD India News Hour. An analysis of how Pakistan sabotaged its trial in the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks case, which has meant no real closure for the survivors of the heinous attacks. Thailand is looking at novel ways to boost tourism. We'll tell you how. And wildfires raze swaths of land in northern Bolivia.
A platform for the developing world, amplifying the voice of the global south with a focus on the growing economies, resolving the conflicts, showcasing the culture, tradition, heritage and diversity. Watch Voice of the Global South at these times on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour with me, Munman Paracharya. A recap of the headlines. 15 years after Pakistani terrorists carried out multiple coordinated strikes in Mumbai, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads the country in paying tributes to the victims of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. On day 15 of the operation to rescue 41 workers trapped in a tunnel in the Indian state of Uttarakhand, rescuers work on a 6-pronged strategy. Drone cameras monitor the rescue operations. Hamas announces the release of a Russian national-held hostage, even as more Israeli hostages have been released on day 3 of the 4-day truce between Israel and Hamas. Let's go back to the lead story that we are tracking on NewsHour, and that is that justice has not been served even 15 years after the heinous 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks. So why is that the case? Why has Pakistan been dragging its feet and made the trial a sham one within its territory? To talk about that, we are being joined by Alok Bansal, Director of India Foundation and a security expert. Mr. Bansal, welcome to DD India News Hour. Did the 26/11 attack cost Pakistan its image dearly as it mounted a sham trial, worked on diverse ways to sabotage it and denied access to India to any accused on its soil?
There is no doubt that Pakistan's image did take a beating, but we must understand that Pakistan had been sponsoring terrorism for a long time and India had been telling the international community for a long time. But after 26/11, since it came after 9/11 and India had a lot of credible evidence to give, and the large number of international citizens were also targeted, the international community took greater cognizance of it. And all the sham trials that happened after that have actually put Pakistan in the box, because initially Pakistan denied that any of the perpetrators were Pakistani citizens. It was actually a Pakistani media which actually went to the surviving terrorist Kasab's home and broke the story that he's from so-and-so place. and which again left Pakistan with no excuse and no face to show to the world. When the entire conspiracy was unearthed, all the tapes, that the communication that was happening between the handlers and the terrorists was also given to the international community. And subsequently, when India wanted the perpetrators or the main people who were behind this attack to be tried and punished, Pakistan has just done nothing. They have gone through a sham trials, have asked for more evidence, and have not allowed Indian investigators to provide them with access to these individuals who have been directing the attackers at that particular moment.
Right, Mr. Bansal, what you are saying is extremely important. Also, did the little action that Pakistan take in the case of Sajid Mir, for instance, who had guided terrorists in real time in that control room in Karachi, was because its hand was forced due to FATF, and hence under duress, Pakistan had to make Sajid Mir miraculously come back from the dead in 2022. So has the world seen through Pakistan's web of deceit and lies, that it only acted when its hand was forced, when it had no other option but to take some sort of action?
This we have seen on numerous occasions. When FATF meeting was to take place, they put Masood Azhar under a certain sort of arrest. Hafiz Saeed was also put under some sort of a house arrest. But immediately after FATF gives them clearance, we see that these perpetrators are moving freely within Pakistan. So this has been the tactics which Pakistan has used many a times. Many terror outfits are legally outlawed, but they transform and metamorph into a new entity and keep functioning as hitherto. So this has been the practice. Pakistan has to be forced, and as long as FATF sword was hanging on their head, they would at least act on some of the things when actions were being taken, when there were meetings of FATF, etc. But of late, we have seen that even when we are trying to designate some of these terrorists as international terrorists, they have received some support from Chinese authorities, which have prevented many of these dreaded terrorists from declared as global terrorists. And that's been the case in Security Council. So that's been the thing, and I think Pakistan has not actually improved. We have seen what happened after that. They've tried the similar tactics in Afghanistan, and now even the new Afghan government, which supposedly was propped up by Pakistan, is also having problems with Pakistan.
Absolutely. Mr. Bansal, did India's handling of diplomacy and its strategic moves post-26/11 put the spotlight on Pakistan's record on terrorism? Would you credit India for that, with India being able to portray with evidence that Pakistan's ISI and military was plotting and perpetrating terrorist attacks on India, and the world finally recognized instead of ignoring India's concerns as it had done in the past?
There is no doubt. I think we were successful in showing to the international community credible evidence of Pakistan's involvement. And firstly, I think this particular event was so ghastly and so widespread. And in fact, it was played out on the media channels that people knew what was happening, and I think people could react to it, they could relate to it. And as a result, there was a huge condemnation of this event from the international community. There were citizens of various other countries which were also the victims in this particular attack. And subsequently, when we actually provided them with foolproof evidence as to how people were controlling it from across the borders, I think they had no ground to stand on. They had to accept it, and I think they accepted some things, but eventually it came to naught. And that's what is sad, because even Headley came here, his interrogation also by different places actually brought out what was happening, and all those things have happened. And that's what I'm saying, that in this particular incident, I think the international community had seen what Pakistan's complicity was. And of course, subsequently, Pakistan was placed in FATF grey list because certain financial transactions with various outfits were also found that they were not meeting the international norms. And as long as Pakistan was on the FATF grey list, I think they were a little more amenable. But as far as the trials of these main accused are concerned, Lakhvi, etc., Hafiz Saeed, etc., we have really not seen any progress as far as this particular ghastly crime was concerned.
Yes, the trial was a sham one, like we've been saying. It was sabotaged. India did carry out its trial, and like you're saying, that David Coleman Headley did come here. He's been sentenced. Tawavur Hussain Rana, though, hasn't been extradited as yet. But the question that still remains is, how will the survivors of 26/11 get closure in such a situation?
See, I think the closure will come up when these people who were the perpetrators, who know people like Hafiz Saeed, etc., are, I think, punished either by the Pakistani government or by the international community, or are eradicated by Indian agencies or something, by some sort of an action, because such perpetrators, such terrorists cannot be allowed to roam scot-free on the surface of the earth when they have caused so much of pain and anguish to hapless, innocent citizens of India and other countries. Absolutely. And I think the international community must come together to pressurize Pakistan to hand over this ghastly criminal to justice.
Absolutely. Pakistan shouldn't have it easy. We leave it at that. Mr. Bansal, appreciate you joining us with your views on this. Moving on, China's health ministry on Sunday urged local authorities to increase the number of fever clinics as the country grapples with a surge in respiratory illnesses. The spike became a global issue last week when the World Health Organization asked China for more information. Cases among children are appearing especially high in northern areas where hospitals are warning of long waits.
Efforts should be made to increase the number of relevant clinics and treatment areas, appropriately extended service hours, strengthen guarantees of drug supplies, give full play to the role of traditional Chinese medicines, and maximize the capacity of reception and standardization of diagnosis and treatment.
Let's now take a look at some other stories making news around the world. The number of people killed by floods from heavy rains in Somalia has climbed to 96. Somalia has been battered by relentless heavy rains that began in October, caused by El Nino and Indian Ocean dipole weather phenomena. The intense rains have unleashed widespread flooding across the country, triggering displacement. The annual feast for thousands of monkeys in Thailand's Lopburi province kicked off on Sunday with plates of fresh fruits, vegetables and dessert laid out for them. The festival, now in its 35th year, helps to boost tourism in the Thailand province. It's a race against time in a jungle in Bolivia as the sanctuary sends out rescuers to recover animals hurt in large-scale wildfires. The Inti Varayasi Animal Refuge has collaborated with volunteers and firefighters to aid animals in need. Rescuers patrol the forests searching for animals at risk or injured by the fires and treat them until they have recovered. Time for another breather on DD India News Hour. Still to come, we'll tell you about Day 7 of the 54th International Film Festival of India that filled with the exciting film screenings, enlightening masterclasses and engaging discussions. Mascot logo and jersey for the first ever Khelo India Para Games launched. Dubai Run 2023 sets a world record.
Turning crisis into opportunity, transforming ideas into action, stories of real change, tales of sustainable solution.
This series is going to tell stories of such changemakers.
Watch Changemakers on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India News Hour with me, Munmun Bhattacharya. India has witnessed a resurgence in the production of traditional and indigenous items. Different state pavilions at the India International Trade Fair are showcasing the artistic indigenous toys. DD India correspondent Kriti Vadhera reports.
India has a rich legacy in toy making. From ages, handicrafts have been a significant part of Indian culture and heritage. It is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's initiative and emphasis on vocal for local which has fueled an entire movement in India. Channapatna and Kinhal toys are a particular form of wooden toys native to Karnataka. These traditional crafts are also protected as a geographical indicator tag under the World Trade Organization.
The toys are very good. I want to buy all of them. This is the toy I bought. This is a very good toy. I like it. And I am playing with it also. I feel good to be here. There are very colorful toys and there are so many shops of various states of India.
Prime Minister Modi insisted on recognizing and appreciating the efficacy, richness and charm of the locally produced arts, crafts and utility products. As a result, India's first toy cluster has started in Karnataka.
I would really like to appreciate PM Modi ji that he is encouraging such an endeavor and promoting indigenous trade in our country.
Traditional toys from India are among many products that have been popular in various states for the culture, memories and craft they symbolize.
This pavilion of indigenous toys here at India International Trade Fair this time is bustling with shoppers. These Indic toys have the potential to entertain your children educationally, and it can also connect them culturally, appreciating their history. With camera person Radhe Krishna, I am Kriti Vadhera reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
On the 7th day of the 54th edition of the International Film Festival of India, various exciting events took place. Actress Rani Mukherjee and former Sri Lankan cricketer Muthaiya Muralitharan shared their insights and masterclasses. Here's the day's roundup from IFFI in Goa.
An in-conversation session with the Hindi film actress Rani Mukherjee exploring the theme of delivering compelling performances was held at IFFI on Sunday. Rani said that she always tries to portray Indian women as strong characters. She added that outside India, films and their characters are viewed as windows towards our Indian culture. Red carpet for 100th the movie was also held, where former Sri Lankan cricketer Muthaiya Muralitharan and Mathur Mittal spread their magic. Director Mridul Gupta, writer Manimala Das and producer Dhaniram Tissot of the Karbi feature film Mirbeen joined for a candid media interaction. Mirbeen is an authentic portrayal of the 2005 extremist strife that engulfed Karbi Anglong. In addition, several other films from different genres and countries were screened throughout the day, offering a diverse range of cinematic experiences to the festival attendees. Overall, the 7th day of the 54th International Film Festival of India was filled with exciting film screenings, enlightening masterclasses and engaging discussions, making it a memorable day for all the participants and attendees.
With an impressive lineup of movie screenings, masterclasses and red carpet events, Day 7 of the International Film Festival of India concludes. The festival remains an event that is looked forward for the global cinema calendar, bringing together all the film enthusiasts under one roof. Shama Mishra, DD India, Goa.
The mascot logo and jersey for the first ever Khelo India Para Games was launched on Sunday at the Zorawar Auditorium in Manekshaw Centre in New Delhi. The games are scheduled to be held from the 10th of December to the 17th of December 2023. More than 1,400 participants from across 32 states and union territories, including Services Sports Control Board, are expected to participate in the maiden Khelo India Para Games, which will witness para-athletes vie for honours in 7 disciplines, including para-athletes, para-shooting, para-archery, para-football, para-badminton, para-table tennis and para-weightlifting. The events will be held across 3 size stadiums: the IG Stadium, a shooting range in Tughlakabad, and the JLN Stadium. The event was attended by Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur, who said Para Khelo India will provide an opportunity to the aspiring para athletes to showcase their skills and develop their career in para sports.
Khelo India Para Games are not just about competition. They are also about celebrating the spirit of sportsmanship. They are about creating a platform for our para athletes to connect with each other, to share their experience, to learn from each other, and to have a better competition at home and to prepare for the international games.
Olympian shooter Samaresh Jung was present at the Khelo India Para Games jersey launch event in New Delhi. He said this is an ideal platform for the aspiring para athletes who want to do big in sports.
Olympian shooter Samaresh Jung is with us, who has won medals in Asian Games and Commonwealth Games too. Welcome to DT India, sir. First of all, big initiative by the government, Para Khelo India happening for the first time.
Yes, definitely, because we can see that Khelo India has had a big impact on the sports. So now Para Games starting, so it will definitely help a lot of para athletes to get connected with the sport.
So this will help, you think, more athletes to take part in Para Asian Games and Paralympics also?
Yes, definitely, because this will spread the sport, and the bigger base we have, the better athletes we'll have. So definitely this will reflect, may not be immediate, but it takes its time, and it will reflect on the Asian Games and the Olympics also.
For any nation to become a sporting nation, work at the grassroots level is important. You think this is a big initiative in that sense by the government working at the grassroots level?
Yes, definitely. With the population we have, so we definitely have talent. What we require is the opportunity for that talent to show itself. So this will give them an opportunity, and I am hopeful that we will have future champions out of this thing.
You are a shooting coach. I'll talk about shooting also. What do you have to say about India's performance in World Cup finals in Doha?
Yeah, it was a bit. We had a couple of finalists. We are unlucky. We didn't get medals. We got just one medal. But then the overall performance was, I think, good, because they were competing among the best of the whole year. So the performance was good. Would have liked them to win a couple of more medals, but I'm happy.
Paris Olympics is not that far now. We returned empty-handed. 15 shooters could not win any medal in Tokyo. I'm not saying that they didn't perform well, but what do we expect in Paris?
We expect them to perform better, and they will. We have better shooters, stronger shooters. So now it all boils down to that day. So I'm hopeful, fingers crossed.
Right, sir. One last question. What message do you want to give to the para athletes who will take part in the Khelo India Games?
First of all, enjoy your participation here. Have fun. Enjoy the sports, and they will get a lot of opportunities. And keep your eyes open for all the information that they get, because from here they can go forward.
Thank you for speaking to us. Enjoy the sport, have fun, and then sky is the limit. With camera person Ashwini, this is Abhishek Mahajan in Delhi for DD India.
Dubai on Sunday witnessed an extraordinary display of community spirit as Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the Dubai Crown Prince and Chairman of the Executive Council of Dubai, led more than 226,000 participants in the 5th edition of the Dubai Run presented by My Dubai. Marking the conclusion of the Dubai Fitness Challenge 2023, the event has consolidated its position as the world's largest community fun run, surpassing last year's numbers. Joined by UAE astronauts Dr. Sultan Al Nahedi and Haza Al Mansouri, along with Expedition 69 crew members, including international astronauts and Russian cosmonauts, the event showcased unity and fitness advocacy. Dr. Al Nahedi passed the Dubai Fitness Challenge flag to Sheikh Hamdan, symbolizing commitment to community well-being. Transforming Sheikh Zayed Road into a colossal running track, the event offered 5 kilometers and 10 kilometers routes, attracting runners of all levels. Dubai Run is one of the most anticipated events of DFC, an initiative launched in 2017 by Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum to transform Dubai into one of the world's most active cities and support its broader vision to become the world's best city to live in, work and visit. Going back to more sports news, in badminton, India's top men's doubles pair Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy and Chirag Shetty lost 19-21, 21-18, 21-19 to second leads Liang Wei Keng and Wang Chang of China in the final of China Masters 2023 in Shenzhen. They played their fourth final on BWF World Tour this year, having previously won all three of them at the Swiss Open, Indonesia Open and Korea Open this year. And that's it then in this edition of DD India News Hour. But do share your thoughts with us on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly known as Twitter, and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Manu Paracharya. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.